Hello, everyone. This one's all about being too busy to recover from anxiety. It sounds like an odd topic, perhaps for some people, but for a lot of clients who are particularly high functioning, so you're living life, which is great, you're working hard, raising families, all that sort of stuff, studying, whatever it is, going to be different for everyone. So you're high functioning, you're living your life, but perhaps you're struggling from a recovery perspective. Your sensitization levels are manageable, but you're not really shifting the needle of desensitization to move towards recovery in the way that you want. Now, there isn't a right or wrong with this stuff. If some people want to cope their way through life and they're not really interested in Claire Weeks, my work, around recovery, and that's also okay. Some people can cope their way through life or keep the anxiety at bay and manage it, and that's fine if that's what they want to do. My channel's all about the freedom that comes with recovery, and it can be tough for people who are high functioning to dedicate the time that is required to really slow down, practice, allow, and go loose because you're so familiar with the symptoms and you know anxiety on one level that you no longer fear it, which is great. But then you sort of throw yourself back into life, back into work, school, study, family life, training, whatever it is for you. And that can make it harder to recover. So that's why the title really around this is, are you too busy to recover? Because we have to dedicate some time to recovery. Now, the beauty about this whole practice and method is that we just practice when symptoms, thoughts, difficult feelings, any form of suffering or worry arises. We allow go loose. We remind ourselves of how we've gotten to this state through sensitization. So we just practice as the opportunities arise. But we do have to practice when they arise. We have to have the presence of mind to practice when symptoms or thoughts or feelings arise in the morning and throughout the day. The more we practice throughout the day, whilst we're living life and become aware of it, that leads us towards recovery. Now, for some people who are, high functioning is often the term, your days are pretty full. And so there's plenty of opportunity for distraction and to be occupied with tasks, work. Again, it could be household chores, tasks, life stuff that you've got to get done. And that's really good for recovery because that takes the time off yourself, the attention off yourself. So you're not thinking about the state that you're in, you're not analyzing, you're not predicting, you're not ruminating over it, which is all really useful. So distraction is one component, but it's not the only component. Too much distraction and too much of being busy can easily, if you're not aware, shift you into coping mode so that your sensitization levels don't really start to nudge down. Perhaps when you had more severe anxiety, that forced you to slow down a bit and you started to practice, got some relief, but then you're like, okay, back to work, back to busy life now. And then because you don't fear anxiety as much, that's great. That's really important. That's the first step. So you're more familiar with symptoms, so you can cope better, and that feels a bit easier to manage. But then you throw yourself back into life, so the stress builds up again. And then it's not until you get a new symptom or something new arises that gets your attention again and goes, oh hey, and you go, hey, what is this? What's happening? Am I getting worse? And the truth for many people is that they just haven't really made enough room in their life to practice, to stay present, to stay conscious. The example I often give with clients, I think I've said it in another few videos, is if you're working crazy hours, just say you're doing, 100 hours a week or double what a standard working week is, so 80 hours. Do you really have enough time to recover? Do you have enough energy levels to have the presence of mind that when first fear comes up, you react to a thought, feeling, or symptoms for you to go allow, go loose, let it all happen. Because you're busy, you're tired, you're rushing from meeting to meeting, you're running from school pickups to soccer to making dinner, whatever. Now, we can insert bits of space in amongst living life in order to ensure that we're not just waiting till the end of the day to practice, or we're not just waiting for the really severe symptoms to arise to practice and that sort of wipes us out. So we can do lots of things, and that's what I help clients with, particularly who are high functioning, to really go through their day and analyze, okay, where are you actually pushing past the symptoms, which is not helping you desensitize? Where is your practice shifting into coping? So some people might get different aspects of the practice really well. They might, okay, I'm going to go loose, let it all happen, bang, straight into back into that next meeting, back into pushing hard through life, which is fine, but it doesn't mean they're fully accepting or facing. So they might be just doing the loose out of habit, and that's really helped them, particularly initially, and it's helping them cope through life. But it has shifted into a recovery technique, from a recovery technique into a coping mechanism. And so then they sort of stall around their progress because they've stopped really facing and accepting and unconditionally allowing the tension they're feeling. They're sort of going, oh, go loose, to be able to get back to what they're doing. And they're less scared of anxiety, which again is good, but they're not shifting their needle. And then the tension could build up and they get a new symptom and then they sort of, whoa, well, what is this? What's happening? And there's a bit of a shock because they thought, well, hang on, I've had this for so many years. I've been practicing. And what's going on? Is it getting worse? Have I gone backwards? When they haven't really, it just means that their sensitizations have come up again because they've shifted from really recovery practices or using the tools as recovery practices into coping because life is so busy. So distraction's good, but again, if you're working crazy hours, meeting to meeting, running around like a headless chicken, the adrenaline's building all day, the stress hormone cortisol's building all day, and so it just makes practice that much harder. You're in the fatigue mode, mental fatigue, emotional fatigue, which all makes practice harder. Whilst the fatigues are normal, those 4 fatigues that Claire Weeks talks about are normal and to be expected, we don't want our lifestyle to exaggerate those in an unnecessary way. So work is good, studying is good, playing sport is good, raising your family is all good and healthy. But we have to carve out space to stay present and conscious so we can desensitize. We have to rest and recover. Everyone needs to rest and recover. No one can flog themselves to a point where they're exhausted. So there's some of the challenges that I see with high functioning clients and why their recovery seems to stall, because it's almost like they're too busy to recover. They're too busy in those moments to really face, accept, and then practice. If that's you, you need some more support, please do book in a coaching session. If you've got any questions with that, let me know. Thanks to the person who suggested that recently. It was in the back of my mind, I think, to talk about, and when you suggested I thought, yes, this is an important topic to address. I hope that makes sense. I wish you well, and I'm sure I'll see you again soon. Take care.